Electro Swing Week, so I'm hitting you all hard with the Disco Lindy Hop by Biddy Boom, Fosh Tony, and Dinks. If you like what you heard so far, be sure to check out the Electro Swing Thing channel, which I've been mining out for audible treats this week. Link to such is in the description below. Don't you worry, dear listeners, I've got plenty of Helldivers-themed rock and metal loaded in my radio magazine to headshot the music centers of your brains right through your eardrums, and we'll get back to that soon enough. In fact, I heard that Mad Maverick Renegade Soundsmith Rogan Ravenheart has been cooking up a few legendary audible treats this week, so who knows, maybe we'll see that promoted on the show. Now then, let's dive headlong into the evening news, starting with some exciting industrial supply news. I'd lie, but hey, it might not be as glamorous as you would prefer, but you're probably really glad that you have those munitions instead of just wishing that you had them, and the Liberation Fleet demands one heck of a supply chain. Similar to the Gunvald Corporation, I have entered into a promotional partnership with a venture company where they will give me real people money in exchange for telling the wider galaxy of their exploits. Tonight's adventure capitalism involves a new factory on the surface of Ivis within the Celeste sector responsible for producing the brand new VSC-85 Vulcan aerospace fighters. The specifications of this fighter are still heavily classified, and the supply is limited, but I have been told that it can be carried on a super destroyer similar to an Eagle bomber, but is more focused on shooting down craft in space or in the air. Could be incredibly handy for zapping invading warp ships down before they could flee or arrive with first troops and voteless. The venture company has been resupplying the Sentinel Defense Force after losing nearly a third of their fleet to the Scourge Diver's Maser Array weapon last week, and I understand their work is good, the contract was lucrative, and the SDF is very pleased. I have been thinking about doing some modifications to the Bringer of Mercy myself, and might be seeking out Venture Co's services before too long. Just some quality of life stuff. Room partitions, case ammunition lockers, and maybe even an automated magazine to feed the 380s. I'll brainstorm a bit with my sweetie Betty and get back to you, Venture. Our next topic of report involves the SDF directly, as they are continuing their war against the Scourge Divers rather successfully. Diplomat 2 made a statement earlier, and I quote, "Most of all of them, with the exception of Scourge High Command, are exceedingly horrendous at combat. Also, because Scourge High Command is equally bad at diplomacy as they are evil, they haven't been able to create any substantial alliances as we flourish. To combat this, they've decided to kidnap civilians and turn them into foot soldiers with Dr. Z's brainwashing tech." Dr. Z, do you remember someone named Scalone? Good, because that was the last person that attempted to use mind control on the innocent in my presence. And when I'm done, no one is going to remember your name either. You hit the trauma button. You shouldn't have did that. So, as if I needed more motivation to give those jerks a shallow, unmarked grave at the edge of town, which I still think is too good for them, the SDF has taken out a contract with the Merc Divers, paying 7,000 super credits per mission on the automaton front and 500 super credits per confirmed Scourge Diver kill. This contract is repeatable and does not have a total limit on payout, which a certain furry radio host is going to love. I feel a little called out here, listeners, but he's not wrong. Hey, you try getting by on a sucky Ministry of Truth salary where you're left wondering if you're going to be able to complete enough dives this week to afford ramen, and see how much you appreciate the concept of wealth. Gosh, I am so glad I told those control freaks to fluff off until they're soft and pillowy for nap time. Within the SDF, they have the objective of undertaking 45 civilian extraction missions on any front, leaving behind 5 to 10 sentries on each mission, and giving 20 Scourge Divers a dirt nap. Good stuff. I'll be sure to take them up on that once I'm finished with this business here on Ilduda Prime. Continuing on with news from the Megacorps within the Liberation Fleet, there was a brief declaration of war between the Gunvald Corporation and the Chaos Divers over a misunderstanding, but it was quickly diffused. By me. Whatever went on was so subtle that Radical had no idea hostilities were even being declared. I thought we were cool, but I will look into this, was the statement he made when I asked him about it. The sad fact of the matter is that the Chaos Divers are completely exhausted. The East Meridian Transit Company is still operating in varying degrees of being on fire. Gunvald's coffers are nearly empty. The entire southern frontier is going to collapse if the Illuminate takes so much as a deep breath in our direction. We can't be fighting amongst ourselves like this, because only the enemy wins. Also, I went ahead and paid your fines and reparations, Gunvald. I'm not just a lot of honeyed words. I put my money where my mouth is, literally. Next on our list is something of a sovereign note, but unrelated to Helldivers or the Liberation Fleet at large. I want to try to take a moment and try my best and perform a good deed for someone in need. In the description below is a friend of a friend's Twitch page, Asterisk Thunder, who is struggling financially and has a sick pet, a kitty named Pumpkin Spice, that they cannot afford proper medical treatment for. If you could find it in your hearts to donate, or at the very least tune into her Twitch page, it would be greatly appreciated. Really, as someone who lost a pet before, that is just the worst kind of pain imaginable. Nothing else comes close. My poor Velvet fell dreadfully ill last May. She had a very bad seizure that she just could not recover from. She was very old, and it was her time. The only thing I could do for her was grant her one last mercy. No more pain. She could finally rest. I laid my paw upon her chest after the vet gave her injection and felt her final heartbeat, and then I brought her home. Her last extraction. That is why I call my ship the Bringer of Mercy. The hardest thing I've ever had to do, and I did it on my own as to spare others the pain. That's what I do. I shoulder the burdens of others and carry them home. So, for those we have lost, and for those we may yet save, will you please help me save this one, sweet audience? As for Velvet, her body may be gone, but she is still with me. She opted to transform herself into a machine spirit where she can project herself into my autocannon sentries. I never won an argument with her in her first life, and it looks like that fine tradition is going to continue well into her second. Some love is just so powerful that it can transcend lifetimes. At least, that's the lore that I wrote to cope with her loss. But I will be honest with you, dear listeners. I miss her every day. Now, as sad and depressing as that was, let me try to turn the mood around with some good news. There has been some interesting movements on the 177 regions banned from normal not-so-super Earth in regards to helldiving. For some strange reason, 30 countries were removed from the banned list, only to be placed back onto it later. I have included my source for this report in the description below so that you can analyze it for yourself, but I am totally lost on this one. Now, with all of that said, we can finally get into news from the galactic sphere. First and foremost is, where the heck is the next major order? I mean, I've got a to-do list as long as the Ministry of Truth's list of human rights violations, but I thought for sure that we would have something by now. Weird. Cirrus continues to make good progress, as does Vernen Wells, where the DSS is currently located, gassing up its Eagle Storm. It should be ready in about a day or so, and I always enjoy the spectacle of this power. Except for when its friendly fire unceremoniously turns the fist unit I'm operating into a bag of shredded cheese. Rude. Within the southern frontier, Hydropius failed in its defense earlier today, with many citizens abducted and left high and dry. Sorry. The same can also be can't catch these jerks before they yeet all the citizenry into orbit and then portal off to Liberty only knows where. Something has to be done about this. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Pandera the Radial Angel. I'm still conducting some humanitarian work on Ilduna Prime, but I'll let you know something about the next major order of the Second Ague, dear divers. It is quite unusual for High Command to be this silent for this long, but they usually do like to give us homework for over the weekend, and I am a very good student. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.